Hello and welcome to yet another lab in identity and access management. So we are going to go right away to lab 2. And in this lab, what we are going to be doing is that we are going to be invalidating the Sudo catch credentials. That's we are going to be resetting the timer for every user account that accesses super user mode or something like that. So what we are going to do is that we are going to be resetting this timestamp, and resetting simply means that one, the credentials you use to access the super user mode, we are going to clear it off. So each time you want to access super user or each time you have to run a super user command, you'll be prompted for your super user password. So that is what we are going to be doing right the way. So let's get on. Okay, so we are going to start by first of all being in the first account we created. So we want to now uh, initialize or invalidate my catch credentials I use in accessing the super user privileges in my account. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to type see how that works. So sudo this. I'm not asked for my password because this password or my credentials I use in accessing my super user, they are already initially stored in my cache. So I want to invalidate that. I want to clear that off. So to clear that off, I'm going to type this command. Once I do that, it looks like nothing changes, but let me type the same command again. You see, I'm asked for a password. If I should type any sudo command, let's say sudo system ctl status, I want to see my secure shell status. It's still open because that has been cached. But if I do this and I clear this, now if I should do the same command now, I'll be asked for my password. But now, so let me do the same command. So notice that when I cleared the cache and I invalidated the cache credentials, I'm asked for my password or my credentials again. So now we want to make sure that this is not left open always. So each time I have to access super user privileges, I must put in my password, even if I'm just from putting in the previous command. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that we are going to have to view this sudo configuration file, and then we are going to go down to default, and in default we are going to add some default timestamp to ensure that this thing is not always left open. Once you're a sudo, you must not remain in sudo. Once you're in the sudo mode, you must not remain in the sudo mode. You should just get in, and then quickly the system removes you automatically by initializing the timestamp. Okay, so what we're going to do is that let's go to sudo sudo to be able to. Okay, so we are going to come down to where we see timestamp. We're going to look for find we'll find that in the default specification. Okay, so that's it. So we are going to insert something here on that default specification. So we are going to put default time default timestamp underscore timeout equals 0, and then we are going to see that let's exit. Okay. So now we want to see how this affects our system. So so good. If I say sudo IP tables, so you realize now that in this case, each time I want to do is access is run a super user command, I'm prompted for my password. All right. Whereas in the previous case, it wasn't like this. I had to run. In the previous case, I had to clear this cache credentials manually. But here we've edited the configuration file specifically in the default specification section, and we've added the clause that sets the default timestamp to 0 seconds. So each time you have to run a super user a sudo command, you must be prompted to put in your password. And after putting that password, you want to do another super user command, you'll be asked that particular password again. So that is how you can reset the Sudo timer in Linux. All right, thank you and see you in the next lab.